Hello my dear students. Today we are going to see a few definitions and then we are going to go for a theory question coming under the topic orthogonal transformation, or you can say orthogonal linear transformation. It is one and the same. So last time we have already seen the definition of orthogonal transformation. Now we will see the definition of orthogonal set and followed by this definition. So first of all, let us go for the definition of orthogonal set. Now this definition we have already learned in second year, so it is just sort of a revision. In the last class we have also revised the definition of inner product space, right? So if V is an inner product space, then a set S V1 V2 up to Vn is a set of non-zero vectors in V. Then this S is said to be orthogonal if, okay, remember S should be a collection of what? Non-zero vectors in V. Then S is said to be orthogonal. I hope you understand what do you mean by non-zero vectors in V. Means each vector in the set is what? Non-zero. So this set S is said to be orthogonal if inner product of Vi with Vj is equal to what? 0 for I is not equal to j. म्हणजे in other words, if you take any two vectors of this set, then their inner product is going to come what? 0. Okay, so if this is happening, then that set is said to be a orthogonal set. If we go for one example, then okay, so let us take an example of R2 only with dot product. Okay, V is equal to R2, right? So if I go for S is equal to 1 minus 1 comma minus 1 1. So this will be, let me see here, minus 1 and it will be okay. So I'll go for plus 1. Okay, so if I take this set, so this set is going to be orthogonal. Why? Because what will be inner product of, let us call this vector as some v1 and let us call this vector as v2. So what will be inner product of v1 with v2? It is going to be what? This 1, okay, this 1 multiplied by this 1 will be plus 1, since first coordinates are positive and the second coordinate, one is negative, one is positive actually, so plus minus 1, which is going to be equal to what? 0. So you can see if you take any two vectors from this set, its inner product is coming to be 0. So therefore this is a orthogonal set. Okay, so now we will go for the definition of what? Orthonormal set. Okay, so definition is similar, there is only a small change in it. So again, a set of non-zero vectors in V is said to be orthonormal if inner product of Vi with Vj is equal to 0 for I is not equal to j. Means this orthonormal set is a orthogonal set, but in addition to it, inner product of Vi with Vj should be equal to 1 for I is equal to j. Means if you take inner product of the vector with itself, it should come out to be what? 1 only. Then we will say that it is a orthonormal set. So if we take this last example, okay, I will do the calculations on this side. So for the last example, what will be inner product of v1 with v1? So this will be equal to what? I guess 1 multiplied by 1 is 1, and what is our v1? That is 1 minus 1, right? So 1 multiplied by 1 is 1 and minus 1 multiplied by minus 1 again, so that will be plus 1, which is 2, right? So you can see inner product of v1 with v1 is not 1, it is 2 actually. So therefore this set is not an orthonormal set. I hope you are getting my point. Okay, Now let us see one example of orthonormal set. Okay, so example, again I'll take V to be equal to R2. Our inner product is what? The dot product, and let me take S to be equal to some what should I go for? Okay, so 1 upon under root of 2 comma minus 1 upon under root of 2 comma and here 1 upon under root of 2 and 1 upon under root of 2. Okay, so if you see what will be inner product of V1 with V2, so inner product of V1 with V2 over here will be 1 upon root 2 multiplied by 1 upon root 2 is half, and this minus 1 upon root 2 multiplied by 1 upon root 2 is minus half, so which is equal to 0. So it is orthogonal set. Now let us check whether it is orthonormal or not. Okay, so what will be our inner product of, just let me make some space. Yes, so what will be our inner product of V1 with V1? This will be equal to 1 upon root 2 multiplied by 1 upon root 2 is half, and minus 1 upon root 2 multiplied by minus 1 upon root 2 is plus half, which is equal to 1, and inner product of V2 with V2 will be equal to what? Half plus half again, which is equal to 1, right? So this is orthonormal set. Okay, orthonormal. Okay, what about this? Orthogonal but not orthonormal. Okay, so I hope you are getting my point. So now what I have done actually here is try to understand. Set is similar actually. So we have already learned this idea before. Okay, so what I have done is see, if you observe this set and this set properly, what will be the norm of this vector 1 minus 1? Okay, so if you try to find the norm, again some space. Okay, so what will be norm of this 1 minus 1? Now try to remember the definition of norm. Norm is nothing but what? Norm is inner product of x with x raised to half. Okay, so this will be inner product of 1 minus 1 with itself. So we have already calculated it. It was 2 and raised to what? Half. So it is root 2. Similarly, what will be norm of this 1 with 1? This will be also what? Root 2. So simply what I have done is I have divided this vector by its norm, and similarly I have divided this vector by its norm. So it means I have converted this orthogonal set to what? Orthonormal set. So this is also possible. If you are having an orthogonal set, you can easily convert it to what? Orthonormal by dividing each vector by its what? Norm. Okay, so this also we have already learned, okay, in the second year itself. Okay, so just remember this property of norm. Okay, which one I am talking about? Just recall this one, because it will be required in the next theorem. What is that? Norm of x is equal to what? Inner product of x with x raised to half. And what is norm of x square? Therefore it is inner product of x with x, right? Now let us see the definition of orthogonal basis. Okay, so it's simple. A basis is said to be a basis of an inner product space. Naturally V should be an inner product space, right? Because orthogonal and orthonormal sets, okay, exist where? In an inner product space, because we are talking about inner product over there, so naturally there should be a inner product on vector space, right? So similarly a basis S of an inner product space is said to be orthogonal if that S is an orthogonal set. What is the meaning? If you take any two vectors from this set, that inner product should be what? 0. If this is happening, then we will say that that basis is what? A orthogonal basis. So what is the example of orthogonal basis? Okay, so whatever first example we have seen, if I take my V to be equal to R2, so then S, which is equal to what was it? I guess 1 minus 1 and 1 and 1, okay, is a orthogonal basis of R2. Is that okay? Because what will be the determinant? 1 minus 1, 1 and 1 will be what? 1 I guess plus 1, which is 2, which is non-zero. So therefore this set is linearly independent, and therefore we can say it is a basis of R2, and in addition to it, this set is orthogonal also. Okay, so just we have proved it in first definition of orthogonal set. Okay, now let us go for the definition of orthonormal basis. Okay, so a basis is said to be orthonormal if it is an orthonormal set. So what is the meaning of it? So if I want to give an example again, so if I take V to be equal to R2, okay, then S is equal to what? Just now whatever we have seen, okay, 1 upon root 2 minus 1 upon root 2 and what? 1 upon root 2 comma 1 upon root 2 is what? Is an orthonormal basis of R2. Okay, because this S is an orthonormal set. Again, if you go for the determinant is going to be what? Non-zero only, right? Okay, now as we have seen definitions of orthogonal basis and orthonormal basis, now we can go forward our theorem, right? So what it is saying, let V be a finite dimensional inner product space and T from V to V be a linear map. Remember, T is from V to V, and while discussing the definition of orthogonal linear transformation, I have told you that special type of linear transformation becomes orthogonal. And which are that special linear transformation? The first condition is the domain and codomain of the linear transformation should be same, and it should satisfy the condition of what? Orthogonality. That is, inner product of Tx with Ty should be equal to inner product of x with y for all xy belonging to V, right? So prove that the following statements are equivalent. The first statement is T is orthogonal, means T is orthogonal linear transformation. The second one is norm of T of x is equal to norm of x for all x belonging to V. And the third one is if Ei, I varying from 1 to n, means it is same as what? Don't get confused with the notation. It is same as somewhat like this, okay, and it is same as what? T of E1, T of E2 and so on up to what? T of En. Okay, so what it is saying, if this set is the orthonormal basis of V, and if we take images of each vectors, means I am talking about T of E1, T of E2 and T of En. So actually मी काय करतोय, प्रत्येक वेक्टरची इमेज घेतोय आणि त्याचा वापर करून एक सेट येणार आहे नॅचरली, then that set is also an orthonormal basis of V. Okay, so all these three statements are equivalent. म्हणजे जर T ऑर्थोगोनल असेल, ऑर्थोगोनल लिनियर ट्रान्सफॉर्मेशन, आणि जर आपल्याकडे एखादा ऑर्थोनॉर्मल बेसिस असेल Vचा, मग फक्त त्याचा इमेज सेट शोधायचा, आणि जो काही इमेज सेट येणार आहे नॅचरली, that is also going to be what? An orthonormal basis of V. This is the meaning. And also norm of T of x will be equal to what? Norm of x for all x belonging to V. Okay, and other way around also, जर तुम्हाला T orthogonal दाखवायचा असेल, and if you are finding that condition of orthogonality to be difficult to show, आय एम टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस कंडिशन. जर ही कंडिशन दाखवणं जर डिफिकल्ट जात असेल, then we will use which one? This one, the second one, that is norm of t of x is equal to what? Norm of x for all x belonging to V. Even this happens, then we can say that t is what? Orthogonal. Okay, now we have to prove all these three statements are equivalent. So how to prove these three statements are equivalent? So you know which pattern do we follow always? We follow 1 implies 2, then we prove 2 implies 3, and then we go for what? 3 implies 1. But over here there will be a slight change, because showing 2 implies 3 is little bit tricky and difficult. So therefore first of all we are going to prove 1 implies 2, then we are going to prove 2 implies 1, then we are going to prove 1 implies 3, see properly here, and then we are going to prove 3 implies 1. Okay, so we are going to prove actually these 4 implications. So once we prove all these 4, then we are through. How? Because we have already proved 1 implies 2, right? Here now 2 implies 3 prove केलेलं नाहीये, but once we prove this we can easily say 2 implies 3. How? Because 1 implies 2 is there, 2 implies 1 is there, and how we will get 2 implies 3? Yes, directly from here, isn't it? 2 implies 1 is there over here, 2 implies 1 is there, and 1 implies 3 is there. So therefore we can say 2 implies 3, and 3 implies 1 we are proving already. I hope you are getting my point. So let us start the proof then. So first of all we'll show 1 implies 2, then we will show 2 implies 1 in this lecture. Then in the next lecture we will go for what? 1 implies 3 and 3 implies 1. So this 3 implies 1 is little bit lengthy, it will take more time. Okay, so let us go for 1 implies 2. So we are going to assume that this t is orthogonal, and we are going to prove that this norm of t of x is equal to what? Norm of x for all x belonging to V. Okay, so let us start. So I will show. So given things are written, we have to prove this all the three statements are equivalent. Now here our proof starts. 1 implies 2. So I will say let T be orthogonal linear transformation. I have told you orthogonal and orthogonal transformation or orthogonal linear transformation, it is one and the same, and our claim is norm of T of x is equal to norm of x for all x belonging to V. Now see, proof is very simple actually. आपण काय गृहीत धरलेलं आहे? We have assumed that T is orthogonal linear transformation, means what? Inner product of Tx with Ty is equal to what? Inner product of x with y for all xy belonging to V. That is what we have assumed, right? आता जर मी in particular y is equal to जर x घेतला तर काय होईल? Therefore inner product of Tx with Tx will be equal to what? Inner product of x with x for all x belonging to what? V, right? But what is inner product of x with x? मगाशीच मी तुम्हाला नोट लिहून दिली की inner product of x with x is nothing but what? Where it is? Yes. So inner product of x with x is nothing but what? Norm of x square, right? So here, okay, just a minute. Yeah. So therefore this norm of x square is equal to what? Now same result can be applied on the left hand side also, and we can say norm of tx square is equal to norm of x square for all x belonging to V. Now simply take positive square roots, so therefore we can say norm of t of x is equal to what? Norm of x. Now why we can take positive square roots? Because we already know that this norm is going to be what? Greater equal 0. Okay, so that we already know, so therefore we can take positive square roots, so no issues, and I think that is what we wanted to prove. Okay, so that is what I have done here. So as t is orthogonal, therefore this inner product of tx with ty will be equal to inner product of x with y. for all xy belonging to what? V. So therefore inner product of tx with tx will be equal to inner product of x with x for all x belonging to V. I have taken y is equal to x in particular over there, so therefore this thing will happen, and now we will take what? Positive square roots on both sides, and therefore we will get norm of tx is equal to norm of x for all x belonging to V, and that is what we wanted to prove, isn't it? So it was simple, right? Now we are going to go for what? 2 implies 1. So first of all I'll erase this. Yes, okay. So now we will go for what? 2 implies 1. So now I will assume that this norm of t of x is equal to norm of x for all x belonging to V. And what is our claim? Our claim is to show t is orthogonal, means we have to show this inner product of tx with ty is equal to what? Inner product of x with y for all xy belonging to what? V. Okay. Now see, in order to prove this condition, where is that? Yes. So in order to prove this condition, you can see we need how many elements of the vector space? 2. So that is what I will do exactly. I will say let x comma y belonging to V be any elements. Okay. So remember what we have to prove? We have to prove this inner product of tx with ty is equal to what? Inner product of x with y for all xy belonging to what? V. Now since I have said let x and y be any elements of vector space V, but see what is given to us, this norm of tx is equal to norm of x for all x belonging to V. So now since this x and y are elements of V, so therefore naturally this condition will be satisfied for x and y both. So therefore what I will say, therefore norm of this tx will be equal to what? Norm of x, and this norm of t of y will be equal to what? Norm of y. Is that okay till here? Now see, since this x and y are both elements of V, so therefore what can you say about x plus y? So x plus y will be also element of V. So this is a key step. Students tend to forget this. शक्यतो मुलं हे विसरून जातात. Okay, this is an important step. एकदा की हे आलं, then you can easily prove this part. Okay, just a minute. Yes, okay. Now since x plus y belongs to V, now see जे दिलेलं आहे that is true for all elements of vector space V. Now x plus y is also element of vector space, so therefore naturally this x plus y is also going to satisfy this property. I hope it is clear. So therefore what will happen is, therefore this norm of t of x plus y will be equal to what? Norm of x plus y. Now what we will do is we will simply square it. So by squaring on both sides, so what we will get? Norm of t of x plus y square will be equal to what? Norm of x plus y square. Okay, but what is norm of t of x plus y square? That we have to see. So first of all I will go down. So that is what I have said, let xy belongs to V be any elements as explained. So therefore norm of tx will be equal to norm of x, and this will happen since it is given only, and I have called it as 1. So as xy belongs to V, therefore x plus y belongs to V, therefore this will happen, and therefore this norm of t of x plus y square will be equal to norm of x plus y square. Okay, now see what is norm of x square? We already know norm of x square is inner product of x with x, so this can be used over here. So what will be norm of t of x plus y whole square? So you treat this as x, then you will understand. Capital X याला आपण म्हणूया, याला आपण capital X म्हणूया. So what will be norm of capital X square? It will be inner product of x with x, right? but what is our value of x? It is t of x plus y. अशा पद्धतीने तुम्हाला लगेच समजेल. So therefore what will happen is inner product of t of x plus y with t of x plus y is equal to what? Inner product of x plus y with what? X plus y. Okay. Now just the calculation part, which we have already done in what? Second year. Okay. But before that, we have to use the fact that t is a linear transformation. Now since t is a linear transformation, therefore what will happen? Inner product of tx plus ty with inner product of tx plus ty will be equal to inner product of x plus y with x plus y, right? Now we have to use simple properties of inner products. So first of all, I will keep this as constant, and on the right hand side also this as fixed, not constant, fixed. I will say fixed is a good term to use, and I will distribute this in the first coordinate, simply the properties of what? Inner product. So therefore what I will get on the left hand side, so inner product of tx with what? Tx plus ty plus inner product of ty with tx plus ty. So this is for the left hand side. Now for the right hand side, so what I will get for the right hand side? So inner product of x with x plus y plus inner product of y with what? X plus y, right? Now the next step. Yes. Now what is the next step? Now I will keep this as fixed and I will distribute this, right? So therefore I will write it here. So inner product of tx, this is fixed, next term will be again tx plus inner product of tx with ty. So that are the calculations for this term, plus inner product of ty with tx plus inner product of ty with what? Ty. So these are the calculations for what? This term, which is further equal to inner product of x with x plus inner product of x with y. These are the calculations for this term, plus inner product of y with x plus inner product of y with y, right? So these are the calculations for this term over here, right? Now just the simplification part is left. Now what is inner product of tx with tx? Now since inner product of x with x is norm of x square, so what will be inner product of tx with tx? It will be therefore norm of tx square. Is that okay? Plus now inner product of tx with ty and inner product of ty with tx, but this ty with tx is same as what? Tx with ty, right? Since inner product of x with y is same as inner product of y with x, so if you add them it will be twice. So twice inner product of tx with ty plus now again we are having inner product of ty with ty. So by using same idea, so what you are going to get? Norm of ty square, which will be equal to, what about this? Since this is inner product of x with x, so it is going to be norm of x square plus, now same logic, now this is inner product of x with y, this is y with x, but y with x is same as x with y, so it will be twice inner product of x with y plus norm of y square, right? So therefore in the next step what will happen? Now see, what is our 1? Observe this 1. We are having norm of tx is equal to norm of x and norm of ty is equal to norm of y. So that can be used. So therefore you will get norm of x square. Okay, instead of this you will get norm of x square, because norm of tx is equal to norm of x plus this twice inner product of tx with ty will be as it is, plus over here you will get norm of y square, which will be further equal to what? This norm of square as it is. So right hand side is as it is, no change, plus norm of y square. Now simply simplification part, so this will get cancelled out, and in fact therefore what will be left out, so you will get this twice inner product of tx with ty will be equal to what, will be equal to twice inner product of x with y. Later on cancelling out this 2, you will get inner product of tx with ty will be equal to what, inner product of x with y, right? And I hope that is what we wanted to prove, and this is true for what, for all xy belonging to V, and therefore T is orthogonal, right? So let us check our proof then. So till here I have already explained. So this is simply what, by using this formula, okay, so we got this term. Then since T is a linear transformation, therefore this has happened, and over here I have fixed this x plus y, and I have distributed the first coordinate on the right hand side. Then in the next step I have fixed this tx plus ty in the second coordinate, and we have distributed this tx plus ty of first coordinate, therefore this we got this one. And then in the next step, so tx with tx, now we have fixed this naturally and we have separated this, so yes, so we got this plus ty with tx plus ty with ty, which is equal to inner product of x with x plus, now since y with x is x with y, so we got twice over here. Now by using the formula that inner product of x with x is norm of x square, so that formula we have used. Then this we got from 1, since this norm of tx is norm of x and norm of ty is norm of y, then simply by cancellation, by cancelling the terms, we get this, okay, and therefore T is what, orthogonal, and that is what we wanted to prove, okay. So this is about the proof of the theorem, okay. So that's all for today actually. So before that I'll just erase it out. So in the next class we are going to prove the leftover two parts, that is 1 implies 3 and 3 implies 1, and so therefore we'll stop here for today. So thank you.